Welcome back to HVAC 101. I'm David Holt with National Comfort Institute. In this lesson, I'll describe the mechanical components involved in a typical residential system. There are 5 major components of a typical residential mechanical system, more commonly known as the home's HVAC system. The first 2 major components are the homeowner's personal interface with the system. The terminal devices, also known as the vents, grills, and/or registers, through which the conditioned air enters or leaves the living space, and the controls, most commonly known as the thermostat. The other 3 major mechanical system components are pretty much hidden from the homeowner's view. They are the comfort distribution system, commonly called the ductwork, the indoor air quality fixtures, typically the air filters, humidifiers, and air purification devices, and the heat transfer equipment, typically called the heating and cooling equipment. Let's look at some examples. A terminal device is installed at the end of a duct pipe. If that duct pipe is blowing air into the living space, it's called a supply air duct, because it's supplying conditioned air to the living space. While many people call them vents, these devices are properly called supply air registers. The examples shown here are commonly used in residential new construction applications because they are so inexpensive. These registers are simply stamped out of a single piece of metal, hence the name stamped face, with a basic air damper attached to the back. The louvers direct the airflow. Here we have examples of a 1-way, 2-way, 3-way, and 4-way stamp face supply air register. The system designer specifies the register type based on its position on the ceiling or wall. There are also supply air registers designed to be installed in the floor. As I said earlier, a terminal device is installed at the end of a duct pipe. When the duct is drawing air out of the living space, it's called a return air duct. Many people ask, why is it called a return duct? It's simple, actually. This part of the system is returning air from the space back to the heating and cooling equipment so it can be reconditioned and sent back to the home through the supply air ducts. These are made the same way as the supply registers I just showed you. They are stamped out of one piece of metal. The one on the right is hinged so you can install an air filter directly behind the grill. This makes it easy to change filters from inside the home, and it keeps the return duct a lot cleaner. As I said, the stamped face grills and registers are the typical inexpensive choice for residential new construction projects. When people want to improve the comfort level in their home, the easiest thing to do is invest in better grills and registers. These curved blade supply air registers here have movable vanes that allow us to direct the airflow exactly where we want it. In addition, these devices are much quieter than their stamped-faced counterparts. They also come in 1-way, 2-way, 3-way, and 4-way configurations. Curved blade registers are typically used for ceiling applications. There are also straight blade versions that are usually used on sidewall applications and floor applications. There are also curved and fixed blade return air and return air filter grills available. I bet you never knew there were so many options, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. As you look at these 2 supply registers side by side, you can begin to see the difference. At my house, I've replaced all my original new construction stamped face units with high-performance curved blade and straight blade grills and registers. It made a world of difference in our home. When it comes to controlling an indoor comfort system, there are literally hundreds of options available. The old T87F used to be the industry standard back when my grandfather was a contractor, but most of them have now been replaced with digital models. The latest HVAC controls are all run with powerful microprocessors, and it is very common for homeowners to be able to control their systems using their tablet or smartphone. While industry leaders like Honeywell are still in the game, industry newcomers like Google have entered the fray with their Nest control lineup. As we move to the other side of the sheetrock, the comfort distribution system is the next major mechanical system component. Unfortunately, this tends to be the weakest link in the typical residential HVAC system. Many contractors rely on old school rules of thumb to design and install the ductwork. This has terrible consequences for the homeowner. When the duct is not sized and assembled properly, customers tend to complain about rooms that are hard to heat or cool, high utility bills, dusty rooms, allergy suffering, and noisy, unreliable equipment operation. When the ductwork is designed and installed properly, customers are much happier with the safety, health, comfort, convenience, and economy of their system. One of the reasons that many people use the old rule of thumb methods to design the comfort distribution system is they don't want to invest the time to design it properly. As you look at this form right here, you can easily see that there are many things to consider to do it right. Luckily, there are several software programs available to make calculations easier, but you still need to perform many accurate measurements to make that work. The result? A well-designed and functional comfort distribution system that works right for life. The fourth major comfort system component includes all the indoor air quality fixtures. There are many different types of air filters that are available. People with allergies often invest in higher quality filters to remove airborne particles from the air they breathe. You can get hospital quality air in your home with the right air filtration devices. Air purifiers can also be installed in the comfort distribution system. These devices use ultraviolet light to reduce microbial growth often found in dark, moist, and warm interior surfaces of the HVAC system. If you live in a dry climate, whole house humidifiers are one of the best solutions. When the air in your home is too dry, it's not very comfortable, that's for sure. The final indoor air quality device I want to mention is ventilation systems. There are two types: those that exhaust stale air from bathrooms or kitchens, and those that bring in fresh air from outdoors. With the proper controls, many households experience much better indoor air quality by consistently using bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans whenever needed. Couple that with a controlled fresh air intake, and the air becomes much healthier for all occupants. Look at this cool picture. What we're showing here is a way to understand what's going on with the refrigeration cycle. Now, we're not going to get into any details here, but suffice it to say there are multiple components that are involved with heating and cooling air using refrigerant. Air conditioning systems use the refrigerant to transfer heat from the house to the outside. Heat pumps also use refrigerant to transfer heat to and from the house. While in air conditioning mode, it transfers heat from the house to the outdoors, and in heating mode, it transfers heat from outside to the indoors. It's pretty amazing technology. If you have a gas furnace, basically the gas furnace takes cool air in through the return system, pulls it in through the blower, runs it up through a heated metal surface known as a heat exchanger. It's heated up by gas burners within the system. The cool blue air is drawn up through the fan, blown across the hot heat exchanger, picks up heat, from the heat exchanger surface and then is then distributed through the supply duct system into the space. I hope this lesson helped you better understand the typical residential HVAC system components. In the next lesson, I'll go over the various types of equipment used to properly condition a home. Thanks again for your attention.